That's it. Sorry, false start there. Also trying to clip the mic on to see if this is going to make any difference, because I'm aware the other videos were a bit quiet unless you got your headphones on. But today's job, it's been a couple of days since I put the plastic dip on the front wheel, so I'm mauling it around a little bit now and putting the front brake disc back on. Got a nice brand spanking new front brake disc. The other one was pretty worn out. So yeah, I'll angle the camera down and you can watch a brake disc going on. How exciting. Hopefully, let's see if we can move that out of the way a bit. So I'm just putting the bolts back in a crisscross pattern. Just getting them in reasonably, just touching them up, but just nipped in before I put the final proper torques down, just so you don't get any warpage. Do it all nice and even. Just obsessed about doing things in an even pattern. Should have really used the tap and die set to clean these bolts up, but I'm being a little bit lazy today. Probably a bit eager to get the wheel back into the house, get it on the bike, and then we can take it off the stand and have a little bit of a look. I'm only mildly fretting now because I seem to be one disc bolt short. I've probably stashed them away somewhere safe, really safe, that I'm never going to find them again. I thought I can, you know, 6. Okay. No, there it is. Phew. Any trouble won't. Long term I should really have a lot more boxes with bits, but I end up just putting stuff in the lids of spray paint cans and stuff like that. Come on, butterfingers. There we go. I mean, they're all going in nice and smooth. The threads aren't too sticky. This top one up here is a little bit sticky, but nothing too bad. So they're all seated. Torque wrench 22 Newton meters, I think, for these. Let me just double check. Yard 22. One, 2. 3. 4. See, it's not a massive amount of torque to put on there. You can see how you could definitely over tighten things if you weren't being careful. Alright, so here we go. Let's have a if I can. There's been about 3 times where the camera's fallen off here, and now I can't even get it unstuck. Typical. But there we go. So that's the new disc on. So time to take that inside. Get me a little manual, find out what the torque settings are, a bit of grease, da-di-da-di-da for the front axle. So I'll set you up in there, and we'll whack the front reel on. Right, okay, so I've brought everything that I need inside. The only downside to having the luxury to be able to have a bit of space and work on a bike inside is I've got to keep running out to the shed to get more tools. But the first thing I'm going to do is, because obviously the old disc had worn so much, and the pads are pretty much brand new on this. We did, because the pads were shot when we got the bike. And she's only done one summer of riding, so I'm going to, and I've probably at some point I've inadvertently squeezed the brake lever, so I'm just going to get an old chisel. Some people might hate this idea, but as long as you're gentle and you don't score the faces of the pads, just gently lever the pistons back into the caliper, and that should, I guess that will push any excess air up out of the out of the system and into the top master reservoir. Get it nice and even. Nice flush. The important thing to remember is if you do this I used to have to do this on my Speed 4 quite a lot for some reason. After a few months, you know, even with bleeding the brakes, you'd find that they would just get soft and spongy still. And so periodically, which was good because it meant you kept your calipers clean as well, give everything a good clean out, lever the pistons as far back in as you can, where there's all that, you know, elevation stuff as well that works. But when you do it, don't just jump on your bike and go for a ride. Don't forget to reset your brakes, which literally just means is when it's on, pump the brake lever until the pads are pushed out and just touch the disc, because believe me, from experience, it's really fucking scary if you go out for a bit thinking you've just sorted your brakes out and you pull the brake lever and nothing happens. So right there, pushed back right in, so that's good to go. I'm just going to hang that caliper up out of the way. And then grease up your shaft. Can't believe I'm going to do this on camera. There we go. Just smearing. Bingo!
You can edit that bit out.
You know I'm not going to. Which side would you like to have a look from? I think the other side would have. Right, that on. Let me bring you around this side. Don't know if this will be more interesting. So, front axle bolt. Front axle nut. Front axle bolt, America 60. proper slipped up. Oops, excuse me, that was loud. 28 Newton meters for the front brake caliper bolts. Those done right. Pinch bolts on the front. Actually, before we do the pinch bolts, let's see if we can. I don't know if you can see. There's no front brake. It's absolutely nothing. You just got to keep on pumping that bad boy. So there we go. So let's reset those. Perfect. Yokes. That's that done. So let's do the pinch bolts for the bottoms of the forks. Checklist from there. So that one's done, they're done, that's done. I'm not putting the brace on just yet because I did give that another coat of Hammerite just because it's going to be getting a lot of abuse, so I'm going to let that dry off completely before I start trying to jam it in there and scratch all the paintwork up. So I think this will be quite interesting. We're at the stage now where we can take it off the stand. Let's have a look what it looks like with Bonnie suspension on. So I'll just have a tidy up and then we'll get going. Right then. So here's the, to try and get a bit of a view from all angles. But looking pretty mean. I think I kind of want to keep this bike for myself. Right. That's that done. Now it's time to sort out the back, tighten up the bolts there, get the chain adjusted, and then start working on the mudguard. We're almost there. We're just indicators, a seat and a tank away. Right then, so we've adjusted the chain tensioners so the chain's got the right amount of slack in it. So I'm going to tighten up the rear axle bolts now, which let's see, rear axle on American Speedmaster is 110. There we go. up, what we want to do is where's the heat gone? Just tighten those up. Just let it snug now, it's not moving. 10 mil in there. Caliber bolts are 40. There we go. Right, so everything on the bike is torqued up. So that's enough talking. Tidy away some tools, and then let's have a look at the mud guard. Okay, for a slight mock-up then, I've stuck on that's not the original America mud guard, that's a fiberglass one I've cut down, and I'm just toying around with the idea of, because obviously we've lost the struts here, maybe really chopping, I mean the seat, there's a bracket for the seat to fix to there, we could really bring that line and chop that down to almost nothing there. I mean you're going to get a bit of a wet back, but or cut it in such a way, don't know, I mean it seems to be just too, I don't know, is it too high? I mean obviously I don't like where these are.